Welcome to Farming Simulator 19 for this first look map tour on Ravenport with me, MrSealyp. A warm welcome to Farming Simulator 19. I'm finally here. It's finally here. For some of you, you've been playing probably since midnight, since the game dropped. This is my first look, first impressions of Ravenport map. I normally do first look map tours when new maps come out. This is going to be a kind of first look of the map, but first impressions of the game as well. There's quite a lot to cram in. I'm going to try and fit as much in as I possibly can. Couple of things I want to start off by saying. I have this set on new farmer mode. So we have some buildings, we have some equipment. I'm going to talk about the other modes very, very briefly. This is not a tutorial about the menus or anything like that. I'm going to go into them and show a couple of things in there, but that's not what this is about. But I am running a competition. As you may have seen from the thumbnail, I have, bizarrely enough, I play on PS4, but I have a PC code to give away, which will give you the game. FS19 on PC. Sounds weird, but my daughter very, very kindly bought me the PC Collector's Edition. I don't play on PC, I play on PS4, but the Collector's Edition has got some really cool stuff in it. I put stickers all over my laptop. It's got a set of stickers in there. There's a beanie hat. My youngest, Sealy G, wants to have a go at maybe fiddling around with some modding and stuff, and obviously it's got the modding tutorials and all that kind of stuff in there. So she bought it for me, and as a pre-order bonus from game stores, they sent her a code, an activation code. So yeah, I'm giving that away. All you need to do is give this a thumbs up, give it a like, and in the comments please put "for the win." If you put "for the win," we'll go through. I think we're going to try and find a generator thing. We'll put all the names in, and the lucky winner, I will either comment or contact you and let you know if you have won. So there you go. A couple of things to get sorted first. What I'm going to do is we're going to go into the menu, and I'm going to scroll across till we get to the map, which looks a little bit like this. Well, not a little bit. This is the map. We are down in the bottom right-hand corner in the southeast. And with New Farmer, that's where you start. You start with some land. Now, in this map, a few things are different. The map isn't like it used to be. We can move the cursor around as we do. We can zoom in and out as we used to do. But with the left joystick, mushroom, whatever you want to call it, on the PlayStation controller, that toggles your menu over on the right-hand side now, which changes your growth, fruit type, soil composition, and also can change various different options on the top menu. I'm going to put that on fruit types. Now, if I go L3, that puts on the lands menu, which takes away that other menu on the right hand side, and it tells you what lands you own and how much the different parcels of land are. Now, as I always do on my first looks, I play devil's advocate. I will put across all the positives, and I will also mention things that I personally feel are a negative or might be something that, you know, however you want to look at it. So this is the parcel land you start with already. So if I now click on, for example, here R3, that shows me that parcel of land and how much it costs. That one costs 346,000. The parcels of land are not cheap. And obviously a lot of these parcels of land, that one's just forest. So if you want to do forestry, you've got to buy up the bits of forest. And that one's 202. That one's 280. 147. 227. They're not cheap. If we go into these big ones, 1,212,000. Now, to buy fields and stuff on Farming Simulator 17, prices were like that. They were on some maps extremely expensive. So, you know, it's equitable. There's no real huge difference. Now, on this map, we have got 4 main sell points. We have got the central grain elevator, which does most crops. We've got the port grain elevator, which does most. We've got the ranch, and we've got the restaurant. We have also then got the barn, which does obviously bales and grass and straw and that kind of stuff. Sawmill for wood chips and logs, lumber. Spinnery does wool, but also does cotton, because obviously that's the new crop we have as well. There's also biomass heating plant and a biogas heating plant, but there are no prices for that on this particular menu. If we scroll across one, that actually tells us what vehicles we've got, but I'm going to have a look at that in a slightly different menu. So we're going to do a kind of anti-clockwise tour, or if you're American, counterclockwise. We're going to start the farm. We're going to do a few of the sell points up to the animal dealership. We're going to hop on the train, go around the map, take in a few others, and then we're going to go up the centre and do those. I'm not going to cover everything. There's no way I'm going to be able to cover everything. But I will do my best to cover as much as I possibly can. As you can see already, I still love this. The crops and stuff, grass, everything moving as you walk through it. We've got a bit of a head sway as we walk, that kind of slight bob as we walk. And the footsteps. It's very, very well done. You can tell already, looking around, there's a grittiness to it. A kind of... I wouldn't say a realism. I mean, I suppose, yeah, it is. There's a kind of... It's more gritty, more... It's hard to put my finger on the actual word. Not that FS19 was in any way comic-y. It wasn't. But this is definitely, I suppose, grainier. It's got a... I don't know, the textures are all different. They've all been redone, you know, the stuff that we need to know about. So, vehicles menu. If I go to garage, this tells us what we've got already. So if you start on farmer, new farmer, you'll start with the Fiat 1300 DT, a couple of the K7210s, TX32 Harvester. I bought the Mahindra Retriever. You normally start with 100,000 on this, and I've got 73,300 left because I bought a couple of things just so I can show you something. The other thing, I apologise for my throat. The other thing I want to point out is the slots. And before everyone starts kicking off and having a go at me, like I say, I'm playing devil's advocate on this. We were told, I wouldn't say promised, that the slot count would be higher. We'd have more slots available on PS4. I know on lots of the streams, people on consoles were asking about bale counts, about slot counts, and they said, yes, there is a slot count, yes, there is a bale count, but they didn't actually say what it was. Now, weirdly enough, and this is incredibly strange, and I don't know why, that says 1,299. I'll zoom in on that, and you think, that's phenomenal. 1,299, that's the highest slot count I've ever had. However, we have got a few bits of machinery we've already got that the game's given us. And that says there 636 of 1,299. That's over, well, about half the slot count gone already. So you think, well, okay, but you've already got machinery. There's already placeables. There's already a farm put down. So I checked and I went on to the farm manager mode where you have nothing, but you have money. And I went on to the start from scratch mode where you have nothing at all and you start off with a smaller amount of money. Both of those said 519. So answer me a question. How can you be on 519 slots used when you haven't got anything yet? So when you look at it like that, 519 used out of 1,299, that means technically then you've only got 780 slots, which is no better, if not for some maps worse than it was on FS17. I'm not trying to be antagonistic. I'm not trying to be awkward or cause problems, but that's a fact. Now they also told us, strangely enough, that because of the way they're now doing the models, the graphics and everything else, that you'd have less slots needed per vehicle. So even now if you think, okay, I've only got 780 slots, but each vehicle doesn't require as many slots, I'll still get more vehicles, more bang for my buck kind of thing. Not true. Unfortunately, if we go into tractors and we start looking at some of these we've got already, the tractors that kind of ported over from FS17, and I've got to find one, there we go, the Massey Ferguson 7700, slot count 12. That's about normal. If we go to the Puma, 12. If we go to the Fendt, 13. So anything that seemed to come from 17 seems to be okay. If we go on to a model of tractor that's new to the game, for example the 6M, the John Deere, 38 slots. The Steyr Profi, 38 slots. The Case Maxim, 41 slots. 30 for a T6. That's not better. at all. Now these are the in-game mods, the in-game vehicles. These should be vanilla. These should be really low. I get it when modders start putting mods out, and sometimes the slot counts can be very high because of what they do. So we were kind of told one thing, and it hasn't actually panned out. So if our slot count is now low anyway, and the slots required for a lot of these new vehicles are really high. I mean, really high. If I go on to, there you go, the 7R series, 44 slots. If I go across to a tracked one, this will be quite scary. Let's have a look. Oh, 42, 27, 27. 14 for the Fent. So I'm baffled. I really don't understand why. What's the JCB running at? 25. They're high. I can only imagine what the harvesters and stuff are going at. 25. So I'm worried. And, you know, I don't want to take up the entire first look on that, but this is first impressions as well. This is what I'm looking at, what I'm seeing, what do I think, and this is from a console perspective. A lot of the videos that have been out, the pre-release stream stuff, were a lot of PC guys doing it, and they wouldn't necessarily know. The same as when I do my videos, I don't know what's happening on PC. I don't know what's available on PC because I play on console. So anyway, that being said, yeah, what can you do? So if we go to our garage then, as I was going through, we've got the I got the Mahindra Retriever, we've got an Strautmann SEK 802 trailer, we've got a header, we've got a RAL cultivator, we've got a seeder, an Amazon seeder, we've got, I bought that, the Joskin Aquatrans, I want to show you something of that, a couple of weights, now we've got placeables, we've got large grain silo, we've got shed, we've got farm stable. This is weird as well because that comes under, if you look bottom left, that says decorative object. Decorative object. I mean, to be fair, the sheds are usable. You can use the sheds, and the grain silo is a silo. 200,000 litre capacity. That's not bad at all. All these decorative ones. Now, I like the concept of building your own farm. I like the concept of decorating it and that kind of thing. But we'll have a look at these in a minute. And other than the fact they cost a fair bit of money and they're going to take up slots, which they are going to take up slots, they're not functional in any way, shape or form. I was always one for adding things onto maps, placing placeables that were usable, but for me, placing placeables, decorative things are fine if they're really low on the slot count and they're not ridiculously expensive. You can put an old barn down. Now, I'm assuming if I sell that I get 30,000. To buy it, let's have a look. Where are we? Miscellaneous. Oh no, that's those. Where are we? Sheds, maybe? No. Farmhouses. Decoration. Yeah, if we go to the farm stable, right? $80,000. It's going to take you a while to build up to $80,000. I don't know. I mean, they're all saying 1 on the slot count, so I suppose from that perspective, unless they're all placed already. So slots isn't horrendous, but that's a lot of money for something that's not functional in any way, shape or form. Sheds, silos, water refill points, seed points, I get all of that, but I don't know. It's just, like I say, that's my personal opinion. This is, you know, how I feel. I don't know. But anyway, we've got our silo here. Our 200,000 litre silo is just here. We've also got, I think that might be a water refill point. I'm not 100% certain. The fact it's there, I would assume so, but I don't know for definite. These are all these placeable barns. Like I say, you can't get into any of them. The doors don't open on any of them. It makes the surrounding area look nice and it makes it look more like a farm. But I think when I start putting placeables down, when I do my own, it's going to be, I'm going to use mods when they start arriving in the mods hub, things that are functional, things that I can use. I'm not sure decorative is the way to go. Farmhouse. This is crucial if you want to sleep through the night, because the farmhouse now you can enter, and when you get inside, I haven't got the help menu on. Let me just put the help menu on very, very quickly. Scroll through all of those and go help window on. It says sleep. If I press L3, it'll ask me how long I want to sleep for, but you can only do it at night. I'm not tired at the moment, apparently. So, but that's 350,000 to buy and place. That's a big chunk of money. If you're doing the start from scratch, or you're doing the new farmer thing, and the concept is you're building up your farm gradually, surely there should be a smaller farm to start off with, a smaller farmhouse, you know? More like a shed. I don't know, a little cabin. I'm just, you know, I'm just putting it out there. Tis what it is. So, let's get around this map. We start off with a few fields. If you play on this mode, on New Farmer, we start off with 19, 24, 25 and 26. If I open that menu up, we are in the bottom right hand corner, as I've already said. Like I say, we're going to do an anti-clockwise trip round. I'm going to take in a few of the different points around the map. I cannot cover everything. The textures look really, really good. I'm so impressed seeing all the different streams and all the different videos that have come up before with the new weed system and lime and having cotton and oats and oh, that was something I wanted to show you very, very quickly. Sorry, this is all menu stuff at the moment, isn't it? Let's get on with the map tour, MrSealyp. No, it's in this one, isn't it? Yes, under objects. So we can buy bales now, which is fantastic. If we go to big bags, not only can we buy pig food, we can buy oat big bags, so we can buy horse feed as well. So if you haven't got enough oats to start off with, if you want to, you can buy yourself your horse's feed. Premium chicken feed, we can buy wheat big bags for our chickens if we place those. Now I can't show you, as I normally would do on a first look map tour, I can't show you the cow, the dairy, cow barns, the dairy. I can't show you the pig pen, I can't show you the sheep pen because I haven't got any placed. And that's the thing, you guys are going to be placing them wherever you want to on your map. Whatever you buy, you will place them. The feed troughs and the water troughs and where you place the straw are kind of like they were in FS19. They're obvious, they're there, you can't miss them. Once you've placed them, they're there. My advice, try as best as you can to place any of your placeables on flat ground. It will build the ground up for you if you put it on uneven ground, but it charges you more to place it. So yeah, if you can, flat ground is the best way to go. I'm not going to go through any of the vehicles or anything. I do love this Fiat though. If you watch my FS17 Let's Plays, you'll know how much I like these small bits of machinery. Anyway, I'm very conscious I'm running out of time. So I bought this, the Mahindra Retriever. I thought it might be a nippier way of getting around to where I need to get to first. So we'll jump in. Bottom right hand corner, we've got our speedo. We've got our fuel gauge and we've got our spanner there because you do need to repair your vehicles over time. They will degrade in horsepower, you'll get scratches and they won't function as well as they should do. The menu, top right hand corner, giving you your time, the amount of money and all that kind of thing. Now, what I like about this new menu, it's like a proper head-up display in so much as it's low visibility, it's white, it blends into the background when you don't want to see it. But when you do want to see it, your eyes focus on it. It's not those big black blocks that were there originally on FS17, so that's a nice change. What I also like, progressive steering. The steering's much more gradual, it's not that flick, flick, flick we used to have on console. And also I used to find, if I wasn't using a steering wheel but using my controller, the steering would also be flick, 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 but it's not. We've got this progressive steering wheel now. So I like that. That makes it feel more realistic. Makes me way more inclined. Just stop there. I love that, look, the gear lever moving as well. I'm far more inclined to be doing stuff in cab because the feel of in cab is amazing. When you get into the tractors as well, and we'll do some more on that in other episodes, I'll talk about that a bit more. You've got obviously the cab suspension, seat suspension. When you turn, you get that sway. Look at the driver, you've got the sway as we're turning. You can't quite see his feet in there. They are moving. But you've got brake and accelerator and all the rest of it. But let's get around this map tour. So we've left the farm, we've left the silo, we've left the main farmhouse, all behind us. The first of our sell points we're going to head to is just along here. We've got the barn and we've got the biomass heating plant, and like I say, that there are so many features I can't even begin to show you everything, but I will try my best. I'll zoom out. What I love as well, and this is a really nice feature, when you zoom out, I know it was kind of the same on FS17, the engine noise decreases, but it's a much more gradual thing. I always found the 17 it was kind of on off. You were a long way away, and as you got closer it just seemed to get louder. It's much more progressive. Junkyard on the left hand side there. Now, you've probably already seen this a million times, unless you've been hiding under your bed so excited about the game coming out, or I don't know, on an oil rig somewhere, or whatever it is you might have been doing. You've probably seen a lot of this stuff already, but this is what I do. I'm putting out my first look. So we are up on this hill here, south on the map, and this is the biomass heating plant. Now when I go on this, weirdly enough, I'm going to put the menu back up again. It says, when I go to that, sell wood. Now the biomass heating plant always used to be wood, and well, it always used to be wood chips, to be fair. Now it says sell wood, so I'm assuming here at the biomass it's wood and wood chips, because this is the only sell point I can find for this, so I don't know for definite. And over here this is supposed to be the barn. Well, it's supposed to be, this is the barn. If I go onto the main menu, or onto the map screen there, right down the bottom it says barn, which is what I'm on. But nothing's come up for selling. It doesn't say sell bales. I'm assuming you just bring them up here, put them on this sell point. So we've got barn here, and then we've got our biomass heating plant just there. Back into the Mahindra. It's going to take a lot of getting used to. It is vastly different. There's a lot of people who have been saying, and I'll be honest, I've been putting out there, it's no different to FS19, it's just slightly better graphics. It's vastly different. It's night and day from FS17. I'm trying to think what it reminds me of. A little bit like Ghost Recon, the kind of style, the map, the sort of the graphic quality to it reminds me very much. So I'm going to leave that help window open for a moment. I don't know why, just that sort of feel. So a cosy wall, traditional spinnery. So this is our spinnery, just on the right here. We're going to go up through the spinnery. The spinnery will take wool and it will take cotton. There are just amazing features and details. The time taken on a lot of these, well, all of the areas, everything is incredible. Now, believe it or not, the Mahindra will actually hook up to this. So I bought this. This looks absolutely huge now. Now there we go. So when we start hooking up to something, that comes up at the bottom. I don't know if I like that, and I haven't been able to work out in the menu how to turn that off, if you can. Before you just used to get the symbol to hook up or unhook, whatever. Top left now, above the control panel, it shows a little tractor, and that will show you how many trailers you've got. The same as it was before. You could flick with triangle between the main vehicle and the tool. So we've got that. I love the fact that, look at the detailing now. That Joskin Aquatrans looks like aluminium, like a brushed aluminium. It really does look like that. Anyway, so what I was going to show you was this. I generally do this on my first look map tours as well. The water situation. So without getting the Mahindra stuck, or the Aquatrans, if at all possible, if I can back that down, press L3. I am filling up. We are filling up the Aquatrans from this water source, and it's not costing me anything to do so. So the water is free. I will stop doing that now. Whether it's free or whether you can do it on all water sources, I'm not sure, but you can definitely do it here. So my assumption is you can. I just wanted to show you that. So water sources, fantastic. Thumbs up. It blows me away, the bridges, the detail, well, all of it, not just the bridges, but all of it. So we're going to head up the hill, which is going to bring us up to the Livestock Market, which is just here. Ah, that's a problem. Okay, so this is the Livestock Market, or this is the buy point for the Livestock Market. The main building's around the front on the main road. We've come into it kind of from the back way. If I now open the animal dialogue box, this is fantastic. We can now pick and choose what colour animals we want. We can have a pink pig, a white one, a black and white one, a black one. We can have a white sheep, a brown sheep, a black and white sheep, or a black sheep. We can have cow brown and white, black, black and white. The Brahman cows, you can pick those if you want those as well. I think for doing things like a Stancil Apache, that's going to be fantastic. And then move on to our horses. Grey, Pinto, Palomino. Now you have to have their enclosures placed to do this, to buy them, especially if you want them transported, unless you've got a trailer to do it yourself. We've got Chestnut Bay, Black, Seal Brown. Well, that's got to be, isn't it? Got to have one of those. And we've got Dun. That's all of the animals. So it's not just a case anymore of just picking an animal. Cow prices are pretty good though, 2,500. That's come down a lot from FS19. Sheep 1,500. And pigs 1,500. That's a massive difference in price. I have to say, it's cheaper for buying livestock now. That's fantastic. It used to be £5,000 for a cow. It's £5,000 for a horse now. And cows are only 2,500. So you're going to get more animals for your money. That's pretty good. I have to say, I didn't even notice that before. Now, what I was going to do here was get on the train and go around by train. Now, this is the thing that I have noticed. I bought the train up and placed it here, but if you're not in it, not using it, it kind of goes off on its own. So bear with me a minute, and I'll see if I can get it back. It's gone. I have retrieved the train. We are now crossing the bridge we just went under. And we are heading up past the Livestock Market. The Mahindra should just be parked on the left-hand side, just there. Fantastic. So what we're going to do now, we're heading up towards the first of our grain silos. This is not a sell point. This is somewhere you can store grain as well. It's additional on the map for storing grain, and you can transfer it to trains. To the train, sorry. There are two of these. This is the East Grain Silo, I believe. I'm going to slow down a little bit as we go past. Railroad Silo East. Flashing green icon on the map there, mind the gantry. So you can offload, you can load, whichever you want to do from there, because there is a sell point on the railroads. Now what I'm going to do is whiz up a little bit further up here. Put the map back on. On the right hand side we've got like a, well, kind of a riding school, I guess. I'm going to stop the train here because just past the riding school we've got another sell point. It says I've just stopped the train. Stop the train, stop the train. There we go. So just up the hill here we've got like a riding school. It's very, very cool. All sorts of various jumps and exciting things going on here. Horse training facilities, and I assume for breaking them in and that kind of thing. So when you buy horses and you need to be giving them regular exercise, and the more you do that and the better you look after them, the higher their value. We come up the hill here. This is the ranch. So this is one of the main sell points for all of your crops, is the ranch up on the hill here. This is on the eastern side of the map, kind of still southeast-ish, but we're more east than southeast now. Up on the hill we have the ranch, and this is the sell point here for the ranch. Nice views looking out over the map. The other thing I have noticed is the view distance is phenomenal, and again the detailing of the buildings and everything around it is incredible. When you look out, I know on PS4 before you'd kind of get that, you'd start to get that haze out off in the distance, and it, you know, it wouldn't look as good. Now I'm playing this on PS4 Pro. Something I have noticed in the main settings as well on PS4 Pro is that on FS19 I had the option, when you set the game up on the main menu when you first load the game, you could change it all the way up to 2K 1080p, and then you could go to 4K 4K Ultra HD. I've got a 4K TV, so generally speaking the resolution was in that. I was recording in 1080 or in Ultra HD. I've had a few issues with YouTube recently where they've been rendering my videos down to 360, and they've either taken a while to then go back up to 1080, or some of them haven't re-rendered again, and I don't know why. On FS19 for some reason, and I'm not too sure why, there's an option for 2K 1080 HD and then 3K, but nothing for 4K at all, which is odd. I would have thought there are 8K TVs out now, so you would have thought, if anything, it would have had more options. Fantastic dam there, you can actually go across the top of that as well. It's not a sell point or anything, but it looks amazing, and we've got a river canyon just down to our left here. Just, it is amazing, it really is amazing. So, heading round, we're going to go to the next silo, not a sell point. This is Railroad Grains West. Let me just check that. Railroad Silo West, the northern end of the map. Again, for transferring, so if you're working on any of the fields out here or further south or wherever, you can put them into these silos to be loaded onto the train to be taken around to the sell point on the railroad. You don't have to use them if you don't want to. Off to the right there, it's like a factory complex. There's not a sell point or anything over there, but again, just nice detail added in. Lighthouse off on the coast. I'm not going to go to all of those points on this first look. Showing you the sell points, all the things I would normally do on my first look map tours. And like I normally say on my first look map tours, you need to explore, have fun, go out and have a look and find all these amazing features. If you sit and just watch me do it and show you everything, there's nothing left for you to find. And that's half the fun of playing these maps, is finding all these amazing locations. I think what they've done far more on this, there's more bells and whistles, there's more frilly bits. I know that sounds a bit weird. There's a lot of maps in FS17 that were incredibly functional, that had great detail, don't get me wrong. Look at this. But you had your fields, you had your sell points, you had your silos, you might have had a little town or a village, you might have had a few, farmhouses, and that was it. There were a few maps that had more than that, had a couple of towns or various different things. This is all out. I mean, this has got everything. There is so much on this map, weirdly enough, that's not functional at all. But if you just wanted to spend time driving around, and I think if you're the sort of person like me who does videos, or even if you like to just chuck narrative into your gameplay and multiplayer and stuff like that, it's going to make it far more immersive. If you're just I want to play the game, I want to do farming, a lot of this peripheral stuff isn't going to interest you, but it's here. And again, Giants have done that. It's here. If you want it, use it. If you don't, don't. But we're giving you the option. So we're now at the main sell point. This is Port. Get it right. Port Grain Elevator. I think we might have just gone past it, haven't we? You can unload there. I think that works as a sell point from the train. Because we're not actually... Oh no, that's the sell point. That's weird. It doesn't seem to be marrying up quite where the train is. I think... Can you come in with vehicles as well? I think you probably can, can't you? There we go. So here, or off of the train. Whoops, close that. Now, what I'm going to do very quickly is whiz up the hill. Because just up the hill here, we've got the Sawmill. I want to get that in as well. So we're now on the western side of the map, being that this is a west coast town of RAVENPORT. Which I don't want to go up through the bushes and up the hill here. So yeah, we're on the west coast now, on the western side. And this is the Sawmill. So up at the Sawmill we have got our log sell point, which is just here. Open them up again just so we're in. Western side. We haven't done the middle or anything yet. And then round behind this building here we've got our wood chip sell point, which is tucked away just around the corner. Here. And this is again, it's not a kind of, I suppose we kind of got into the habit on FS17 of a kind of a plonk down sawmill on ground. I think all the extra textures, all the bushes, all the extra things that are put in are what are making it feel more real. You know, it's adding to it. You know, I like this concept. It's just for me, I'm still in my head struggling with the placeable side of things. You know, don't get me wrong, there were a load of placeables in FS17 which were simply that. They were decorative placeables. There were loads of sheds and buildings and stuff that you could put down if you wanted to. And again, I guess from my perspective, if I do my Let's Plays where I've got a narrative, a storyline, I'm doing subscriber contracts, sometimes people would say to me, can you cut down 50 trees and build me a cabin? Having a cabin mod actually made life far, far easier, because then I could place that, and that was part of the storyline. So I get it, but they're quite expensive, I suppose, is what I'm saying. But then I read in a forum, there was a conversation about the fact people were saying, well, they shouldn't be free. I'm not in any way saying they should be free. Here we've got a lime point. So for purchasing lime, a new feature in the game, for putting that down on the fields, and sometimes the fields will tell you need to use lime. This is one of the silos here for lime. This is where you come to get it, just past the sell point here. Back on the train. There's loads more to the south of me here, which is all buildings and streets and restaurants, and it's not, like I say, there's no sell points, there's nothing down there. But it's amazing the fact that it's there, you know, to drive through and explore, and you know, I suppose the downside being as well, there are no gold nuggets anymore. So you think, well, you would have probably explored down there before if you were hunting gold nuggets. I think the cement works is over there, so you're going to find a lot of these places if you do any contract work, especially the transport contracts, where it's asking you to take things to different places. You will see a lot of this map if you're doing that. If you're not a contract person, you don't like doing the in-game contracts, you probably won't see as much of it. But so here we are, just off from the railroad. We've got the main store. Carlo's Reliable Motors. I'm sure he's reliable. Buy and sell point just here. Cash point and checking your finances just here. And round to the side here, we've got a customization point or sell point. If I go to that, L3, here you can customize or repair your vehicles. I have nothing to customize or repair. And what is fantastic, especially for us guys on console, without seasons, there was no repair option. You just got charged fees overnight. Those fees have gone, don't have those anymore for vehicle lease, not vehicle leasing costs, for vehicle maintenance costs. But you are expected to maintain your vehicles, your tools, your equipment all the time now. And I think that's a brilliant feature. I really do like that as part of the game. I think it's fantastic. So we're going to stop here very quickly again. I know I didn't go very far. Just hop out. I'm going to go down the hill very, very quickly to show you another of the sell points. And of the main sell points, I guess you'd call it. I'm going to head down the hill towards the restaurants. That's just down here. We're down towards the southern part, the southern part of the map. The southern part of the map. I apologise for my inability to speak. Which is just here. We are behind the restaurant. Good Coast Restaurant. Very nice indeed. So if we, from where I am now, if I head that direction, would be taking us back towards the farm we started. That way is west, and that's where the coast is. We're going to head back up to the train and continue. Now I'm pretty sure we've done a lot of the ones that you can get to off the train track now. We've done all the ones around the outside, so what we're going to do now is go back to the Mahindra, jump in that, and I think we've got 2 sell points left to do in the middle of the map. The middle of the map is where most of the big fields are. The smaller fields are down here to the south, around where the farm is, and down this bottom section of the map down here. Oh, excuse me, zoom out a little bit. The fields seem to get progressively bigger the more north you go up the map. I love this bridge. It's just fantastic, it really is. And like I say about the view distance, I don't know if that's a PS4 Pro thing. I think it's better on consoles generally in this incarnation of FS19. It has been really looked at and revamped, and that's great. Now, it is by no means flaw free. I know a few people have been messaging me this morning and last night. Thank you for that. I did actually go to bed last night. I know some of you didn't. saying there's quite a few different bugs and various different things. I think people are reporting bugs into Giants, and they're going to be looking at that. Some point in the next day or so, I'm sure there'll be a patch will come out, and they'll be fixing all of that. So if we come up the road here, we're kind of heading northwest-ish. This is the front. So if you come to the livestock market from the main road, Patterson Stockyards. What I'm going to do now is head across this road, and we're going to head north into the centre of the map. I'll open this up. We're heading into the middle, field 7, 8, some of the bigger fields. So just on our right hand side here, we've got the biogas heating plant. So we looked at the biomass. This is the biogas heating plant, or just the biogas plant. On this map, gone are the anaerobic digesters that were there before. This is your sell point, just here. And we've got two rather large bunker silos. Again, slightly different designs now. Haven't got those sloping sides to them that we had on FS19, FS17. And then we have got, just through there, you can see it on the map actually, that's another lime point. So if you want to buy lime, there's another one here at the biogas plant. Now, very quickly, I realise this has been another, most of the first looks always are, most of the first looks are, they're a bit of a whistle stop, and they are, because there's a lot to fit in, a lot of stuff to show you where the sell points are. You know, prices are pretty good, they fluctuate. I would say probably equitable with FS17, nothing majorly different there. The crop textures look like, you know, everything's been revamped. It just looks sharper, crisper, cleaner, you know. Yes, I haven't shown you any John Deeres. Yes, this is not about looking at vehicles and tractors and those kind of things. It's about looking at what we get, the same as I would do any first look map tour. We'll get into all of that on Let's Plays and various different guide twos and all the stuff I normally do. So the last sell point we're going to be looking at in this first look map tour is the central grain elevator, which puts us, if I scroll across, actually I'm going to put it on lands, I think. Oh no, I need it on that. Which puts us up here, just south of the river canyon. So we've done a kind of loop all the way around. We started off down here at the main farm. We came across, did these points here. We came up to the livestock market. We went round on the train. We took in the ranch. We did the two silos, east and west railroad silos. We kind of saw the lighthouse, didn't go over to it, and we saw the factory. We came down on the west coast, port grain elevator, lime station and the sawmill. Then we came round the bottom. We looked at the shop. I didn't look at where the fuel was, but that's just there. I think it's a fuel station. The restaurant, the spinnery we did on the way out, and back to livestock. We came up, did the biogas plant, and we're now up at the central grain elevator. I think it also is obvious looking at the map. The maps are so much more detailed now. So much more detailed than they were on FS17. I like that about them. I think this is the cement works down here. But like I say, if you do any contracts, transport jobs, you can access those from this menu. Actually, let's go on to, I'm going to put it on lands because that's that side menu. I keep moving the cursor the wrong way, and it's, so if I go across now, finances, animals, we don't have any yet. Contracts is here. So in this menu, you scroll onto contracts, and any contracts available are shown there. At any point, you might have a whole long list of them there. You can use your own vehicles, or you can lease. If you lease, you don't get paid as much. It says there they're offering $28,046 for harvesting field 8, but you have to harvest the corn and take the product to the ranch. It's not a case of just harvesting anymore. You do the whole job. And that says if you use your own equipment or lease equipment for a reward reduced by 3,116. So if you use their equipment, you lease it, you're only going to get about 25, or just under 25, aren't you? 24,000 something, which is still pretty good. And if you're starting out and you haven't got loads of equipment, then you're going to need to be leasing stuff, aren't you? You can use any equipment you want. Unlike on, if I come off this now and then go back on it again, that equipment's still the same. On FS17 with the discs by the side of the field, you could go onto the disc, look at the equipment. If you didn't like it, come off, go back on, and the equipment would change each time. That's not the case with this. That's the equipment they're offering. You can use that equipment or your own. And if you use your own, you can use any equipment you want. Whatever harvesters you've got, whatever tractors, whatever trailers, that's entirely up to you. But you've got to transfer, do that harvest and transfer it to the ranch. That's all it specifies. Main menus are here for doing anything you need to be doing, really. There's tutorials, there's all the usual stuff. So as far as first impressions go, I'm liking it. The jury was out. There's a few issues, the slot thing, and I know people say, oh, it's not relevant. It is relevant. It's relevant to console players, especially now when you're doing placeables and that kind of stuff as well. It's going to make a big difference. I get it. Actually, that's a good point. You know what I'm going to do? Let's have a look on placeables for animal pens. What's it saying for here? So if I place animal pens, that's me 4 slots, 13 for a cow pasture, either size, 5 for cow paddocks, 16. To be fair, that's not too bad. That's pretty good, considering those are your main. You're going to want at least one of each of those if you're doing all of the animals. You don't want that to be like 40, 50 slots per thing, otherwise it's a big chunk gone, isn't it? Doghouse, absolutely having a dog. That's pretty much it from me for this first look map tour. I'm sure there are going to be things I've missed. I've tried to make sure I've got in everything. I tried to. Let me just pull over to the side of the road and check my information. I looked at slots, I looked at the water situation, I talked about the giveaway. What else? We've looked at all the sell points, we've done a bit of a tour round. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, explore, have fun, enjoy. It's great. I can't wait for the, it's going to be the modding thing again, isn't it? For the first mod maps to come out and the first mods to come out. I'm a little bit, again, sorry if I'm going to cause any problems, but I'm a little bit miffed. They put out a schedule yesterday of mods that are arriving this week, a mod schedule. What I found a little bit weird, a lot of the mods that are being released this week are vehicles we had in FS17 anyway. There's nothing new. It's not like there's a new mod, wow, that's amazing, I didn't know that was coming. They're all mods that personally I think should have just been in the game anyway. If we had them in 17, why were they not already here? I don't know. I don't run the show. I'm just just putting it out there, just playing devil's advocate, because I'm sure subscribers will comment and ask me the same question. They'll comment the same things. What I generally try to do when I do my first looks is anticipate what people are likely to say and try and cover as much of it as I possibly can. I like it. I had a quick look around Felsbrunn. I like that too. They're great maps, and like I say, look off in the distance, you've got that kind of, weirdly, you've got that slightly haze off in the distance. That haze, you remember on Pure Farming when that came out and everyone went absolutely nuts, it's rubbish, the graphics are terrible, it's all hazy in the distance. Well, yeah, of course it is. Depending on the weather and whatever, you are going to get haze in the distance. That's just weather. So anyway, I'm going to head back down towards the farm or around the top here. I'm not quite sure. I'm just going to go for a drive, I think. Oh, train's coming. I just about got through there. Whoa, that was close. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you found it useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. If you want to be put into the competition, then don't forget, give us a like and put in the comments for the win, and you may be able to get yourself a copy of the PC version, or a code for the PC version. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.